More Kentucky shooting data has come out. This is a new style of Kentucky shooting data because it references Noah basketball. And if you're unfamiliar with Noah basketball, it is a pretty cool tech way to track shooting. It's shot tracking tech implemented at every level of the game, is what their Twitter bio says. I've heard of Noah basketball for a while now. It basically literally gives you real-time data on shots you can track in practice if you set it up right, and it'll try and tell you what the perfect shot is. The perfect shot is basically a ball that goes directly through the hoop, not something that rolls around the rim. You're trying to track perfect makes, not just makes. And I do think it's a tool that can absolutely impact shooting, help shooters get a lot better. You're trying to find the middle of that net, not the outside of the rim, right? So the splash zone is what the Noah basketball CEO John Carter calls the range for a perfect shot. And Tristan Ferris, a reporter who covers Kentucky, even has some reporting, some context on this. But 45-degree entry, an 11-inch depth, a straight shot, not missed to the left or the right. That is the splash zone. And if you make it in the splash zone, it qualifies as a quote-unquote perfect shot if you are using Noah basketball. Moving forward, Kentucky basketball has been using Noah basketball in practice, and some shooting numbers, some splash zone numbers to be specific, were shared to Twitter courtesy of Tristan himself. And shout out to Tristan. He's the founder of Kentucky Insider and editor for A Sea of Blue. We reference Tristan's stuff quite a bit on this channel when we cover Kentucky basketball. So anyways, the screenshot here indicates that Kam Williams led Kentucky in splash zone percentage. Whenever this was tracked, 35% of Kam Williams' shots over the last 30 days were considered perfect shots that entered the splash zone. Trent Noah finished second, 28% of his shots in the splash zone. Denzel Aberdeen third, 22%. Braden Hawthorne and Jasper Johnson tied for fourth at 19%. This is not shooting percentage. Some Kentucky fans freaked out and were like, we only have one guy in the 30s. It's not percent makes, it's percent of perfect makes in the splash zone. Does this mean anything to you? Are you surprised that Kam Williams is the number one name here?
I'm not that surprised Cam Williams is the number one name. I think Cam can shoot. He got a burner on him for real. My question is it shots like in scrimmages, or is it just like, hey, we're doing like shooting drills against nobody, and that's how we're tracking the data?
It's a great question. I would assume it's not in scrimmages because we were told 3 days ago by a different Kentucky reporter that Jalen Lowe leads the team in three-point shooting in scrimmages. And Jalen Lowe's name is nowhere to be found on this top five list of perfect shooting. So, I was going to make the joke at some point. I might as well just make it now if we're doing this. So in the last 7 days, we've gotten different reports that indicate that Jalen Lowe led the team in shooting in the summer in scrimmages. Trent Noah led the team in shooting in the summer in practice. Kam Williams led the team in shooting in the summer in splash zone. What's next? Jasper Johnson led the team in shooting on full moons. Like where do we draw the line here? Are we just going to give every single player an individual he's the best shooter here shout out? And I'm not criticizing Tristan because I don't think that's what Tristan was doing. I'm more so poking fun at all of the different ways we have presented this guy led us in shooting this year. It's just crazy to me. I don't think it's good either, and that's an actual conversation. Like if you have an actual elite shooter, to me there aren't different ways to cut up shooting numbers where a different person wins every time. I'm going to use a shitty example of the greatest shooter of all time that is a guy you root for. You're a Warriors fan. You could do 100 different versions of shooting drills and Steph Curry would win them all,
Yes.
right? You're not getting Jonathan Kuminga led us in splash zone. Draymond Green led us in 5-on-5. No, you have an elite shooter. And the one guy on this team that is supposed to be an actually elite shooter is Trent Noah. And for me, I've kind of shrugged aside the Jalen Lowe stuff. I'm not going to shrug aside the Kam Williams splash zone thing because I think it's cool tech, and I think Kam Williams is a really good shooter.
Yeah.
But for me, I would want to see Trent Noah win all of this. I would want to see Noah shoot the best in scrimmages. I would want to see him shoot the best in practice. I would want to see him shoot the best splash zone percentage. He's the guy who's supposed to be an elite shooter, and if other guys are popping up and winning that, to me, it may indicate that maybe he's not the elite shooter that might be promised here.
I mean, we're gonna have another person leading this in a couple weeks too, because I mean, my dog Big Yelly just landed.
Yelly is stateside now, which is something you objectly said would not happen.
Well, I wasn't sure it was gonna happen. I'm not in charge of workers' visas, so I just, I didn't want to commit to anything. Like, I want to make sure we get all the paperwork done.
You do
It's
know
up
you
to
got
the
us in trouble for this, right? The boards were getting spicy at our expense because you kept implying he might not make it to Lexington for some reason.
well, because they've struggled to get other people to Lexington. I'm
Who?
an Enes. Well, like I guess Cantor was in Lexington. He
That's
didn't play.
a decade ago.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
I got a memory. Played point guard my whole life. I remember everything. Big Yellie's in town though, so he might lead the splash zone. I do want to say this. This was my first thought process. If this is like, let's say we shot 100 threes, no one's guarding you. And I'm a big fan of the 100 threes drill. I even brought it to one of our sleepers group chats.
Yep.
If you only make 35 of them in the splash zone, that doesn't feel good to me. That
Yeah,
doesn't feel
I would hope that if this is unguarded threes, the splash zone percentage is higher than 35%. But also, like, I'm not going to act like I've used the Noah basketball tech myself, so I don't know how hard it is to hit the splash zone.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I also don't know what drills they were doing to come up with these numbers. I just know if you're standing in the gym by yourself and Trent Noah comes back talking about I hit 28% in the splash zone, when I slide to Lexington, let's run it. Because I think I can get 29 at least. I think I got Trent Noah beat.
Let's also be real about it, though. It's harder than it seems to find the splash zone.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Steph do it 100 straight times.
Well, I mean, unless you're me, my
I was
wife,
gonna say,
right? I mean,
you even sent a video of you doing it like 20
well,
straight times.
to be clear, I'm making an innuendo based bedroom splash zone joke here. Some people, it's really hard to find the splash zone. For some, it's not.
You've done it one more time to Cart. To be fair, you're leading sleepers in splash zone percentage at the moment.
Let me dial this back in for a moment. Kam Williams, I will say, if there was gonna be a guy who's not Trent Noah that was gonna like have some moment where it's like he led Kentucky in this, I do think it's good that it's Kam Williams because most of the Kam Williams talk this summer has been the opposite of good. It hasn't been awful, but it's just been like he's really dealing with the adjustment to the higher level right now. It's different. It hasn't hit the ground running. And that's come from insiders, that's come from people that have seen him in practice constantly. So, at minimum, Kam Williams needs to be a bench guy on this team that is asked to be a high volume shooter. Because if you suddenly take him out of the equation, it's really just Trent Noah. I don't think this team does have enough shooting. I really don't. So, good to see him winning a shooting drill, however it works, you know?
Yeah, can I have a gripe with a player that like literally a year ago today I said was going to be a first round pick and is still at Kentucky?
Is this Otega?
It is. He needs to be on this list. Brother, if we're gonna make the NBA together, you gotta splash zone. We gotta be splashing in the zone along with defense. Like you Ortega's gotta be on this list.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the talk of him coming back was like, I want to shoot more threes. I need to shoot better. And his name is not popping up in shooting conversations at all. So, look, I don't know. Again, this is kind of Tyron Stokesy for me. I said it on the Tyron Stokes video this week. I'm fatigued by Tyron Stokes being cryptic with emojis. I'm getting a little bit fatigued with Kentucky shooting numbers. Like I said, I made the joke about like Jasper Johnson in full moons. I don't really want to cut up any more shooting drills and present more data here. And again, this is not a diss to anybody who's reporting this stuff because it's all good information to know what's happening in practice. But um, we've cut up shooting too many ways for me this summer. Like I just want to hear that Trent Noah is really good at shooting and let that be the shooting takeaway right now.
I also, if we're just talking practice, I want to cut it up one more way. And obviously, much like they told me Yelovich was already in the States when I said he wasn't, or he was on the way, as if I knew, like, as if I had his like plane ticket on my phone too. Um, I want to see some movement shooting. I get it. You can stand in a corner and you can shoot if no one's guarding you and you can hit the splash zone. Who's going to create their own shot? And that's where Jalen Love,
That's
um,
Jalen.
that's where separates himself from everybody. That's where Ortega separates himself from everybody, even to an extent. Also, where's Denzel Aberdeen? Like, where is he on some of these lists? But I do also think maybe that's like who's going to create the bucket for themselves. And
Yeah.
that's I would like to see those numbers a little bit too.
It's Jalen, and that's also why it's good that Jalen did actually win in the 5-on-5 setting, because
Yes.
that bodes well to actually be used in the season, right? If
Yeah.
there's one of these drills you want Jalen Lowe to win, it is the one he reportedly won, the 5-on-5 shooting. So we'll see. I feel like I had one more thing on this, but oh yeah, haha, sorry. Uh Hypothetically, let's say that Ryan Conwell, Michael Brown, Adrian Woolley, and Isaac McNeely were all dropped into Kentucky practices for the last 30 days, and all of their shots were also tracked with the Noah basketball splash zone. Can you now read back to me the top five splash zone makers if those four were here the entire time too?
None of that. No,
No,
McNeely
none
might.
of Ryan Conwell, Isaac McNeely, Adrian Woolley, or Michael Brown would have beat out Trent Noah and Kam Williams on splash zone percentage.
This is tough for me. Big Blue Nation, I'm trying. I'm trying. No, it's really McNeely. I mean, I think McNeely wins it. Conwell, Woolley,
I think all these
Michael
guys are in the 30s.
in Splash Zone.
I think all these guys are in the 30s. Conwell and McNeely for sure.
Conwell and McNeely, I think, are both ahead of Cam. If I honestly, being dead ass honest, if this drill is what I think it is, I think McNeely might be touching 45, 50.
Yeah, just pure. Yeah. Wait, honestly, and that's where I wish Trent Noah's number was.
Yes. By the way, because I know the idea is Trent Noah's Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant doesn't lose to Cam Williams.
Kobe Bryant's splash zone would have been like 64% probably.
Would have been insane.
Yeah.
Would have been insane.